the $2,000 stimulus checks per person coming next year, according to the Commerce Secretary today in an interview. In fact, I have it right here in this clip, which I will be playing for you in just a second so you can see and hear for yourself exactly what he is saying. Howard Lutnick, by the way. He is talking about the $2,000 as Maria asked him in this interview this morning, and I want to play it for you so you can hear exactly what he's saying. But he's talking about $2,000 payments per person coming next year, likely within the next reconciliation bill, which is what we just saw a little bit earlier this year that was signed into law by the president, multiple trillions of dollars within that one. And we've also heard from many different lawmakers that the next reconciliation bill is also coming likely next year. So we already know it's coming. They're going to utilize this. And yes, they can absolutely 100% add stimulus checks, dividend payments, rebate checks, whatever you want to call it. They can absolutely add that into the next reconciliation bill. Well, this is another person right here, Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, that we can add to the very long list of people that have been out talking about the $2,000 stimulus. Again, I've given you the list before in other videos. All the people within the administration, all the lawmakers that have come out talking about this, and we get to now add Howard to the list. So, yes, another one. I'm going to play that video for you in just a second so you can hear exactly what he's saying about it. But here's the deal. Earlier today, I had that video talking about stimulus, things like that, okay? Many of you reaching out. Now, I also understand that many of you in this community want to know these daily updates and want to hear the latest information as it is coming across. Remember this much as well. We continue to hear all this information coming out, but I just said it the other day as well, last week in a separate video. We continue to hear all this information coming out on this $2,000, but they still do not have a written proposal as of right now, at least that the public has seen. Maybe they have something behind closed doors in private, but we have not seen a public written proposal on this, which is why we continue to see so much varying information coming out about this. They're kind of just winging it on the fly in all these interviews and anytime that somebody else comes out and talks about it, which is why we're not seeing consistent information. But I like what Howard is saying, $2,000 per person, also indicating who would be getting it, as in the president made it very clear who he wants to send the money out to. And then again, also likely coming next year. So anyway, let's play this clip right here, right now, and I'll come back a little bit afterward. It's about a 2-minute clip, by the way. It's a little less than that. I will come back afterward. We'll talk through some more of the details. And again, just want you to hear this for yourself. Every day when people come out and talk about this, I just want you to continue to hear the details so we can continue to stack the evidence and see what we've got out there. All right, anyway, I'll see you again in about 2 minutes. Here is Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, and talking about the $2,000.
Proposal to send out checks of $2,000, dividend checks. And, you know, there's an analyst I spoke with over the weekend who believes that it's unlikely unless we see a second reconciliation package passed in 2026. What's your expectation, Secretary, in terms of a second reconciliation bill or a standalone $2,000 check program to go out?
Look, the tariffs are an American policy. The president wants the American people to understand how great tariffs are for them. And so one of the ways to prove to the American people how great tariffs are is to have them share in a part of 1 year's income from these tariffs. And that's $2,000 a head, as he said, for people who need the money. You know, he's going to constrain it to people who need the money. And that's exciting. So the president's got that on his desk. I know that's something he wants to achieve, and his legislative team will figure out the best way to do it. But what he's trying to do is make sure people in America understand that tariffs are their policy. It's to make America stronger, and it could also benefit their pocketbook. And that is coming next year from the president.
Yeah, for sure. But the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget says that those payments will cost roughly $600 billion each round and increase the deficit by $6 trillion over a decade. The White House preparing, of course, backup plans in case the Supreme Court rules against the president and the emergency powers on tariffs. I want to ask you about those backup plans. So let's take a short break and come right back on the cost of the president's tariff dividends and whether or not, in fact, we are going to see this take place next year. Secretary, I just got to get your take on whether or not there is a backup plan in place if the Supreme Court goes against you. Stay with us, Secretary. We've got more right after the break.
All right, so there's Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, again talking about these $2,000 payments, and as you heard him say right there, $2,000 a person coming next year. I like it. Now, obviously, he was also talking a lot about the tariffs because that is where this money is going to be coming from to distribute all of this money in the form of these rebates, these dividends, these stimulus checks, whatever you want to call that. Now, one thing I want to point out really quickly as well is that he indicated the distribution of this $2,000 would be 1 year's worth of income from the tariffs. That's not true, okay? If you look at the numbers here, as far as how much money the $2,000 payments would actually cost and how much they're going to be collecting in these tariff revenues, it's like half. We're going to be getting about $300 to $350 billion in these tariff revenues. And these $2,000 payments, again, there's a lot of details around this that we still don't know. But as of right now, based on the math that I've given you before in previous videos, it's going to cost about $568 billion. So like about half is the amount of money that'd be coming in a single year. It's actually, a little bit more than half. But my point is that it's not 1 year's worth of income. However, does that give us a little bit more of a glimpse into possibly the eligibility for this and who this may be geared toward? I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really think so. I think it's basically just him off the cuff just saying, oh, it's 1 year's worth of income. No, it's actually not. I don't think they've actually run the numbers on this to the degree that we have here in these videos to actually point out exactly how much this is going to cost. But anyway, as you also heard the host, Maria, in this interview talk about was the reconciliation bill. Now, this is what a very important point that I want to point out for you super fast here, which is this. The $2,000 payment, I would say there's like a 95% chance that this thing comes within the next reconciliation bill, if it comes at all. I really want to preface it by saying if this even happens in the first place, but every single person within the administration that comes out and talks about this just honestly digs them into a deeper and deeper hole as far as their commitment to this and how much they really need to do this. So every single person within the administration that comes out talking about this, I feel like is just more evidence and more that they actually need to do this, because otherwise it's going to be really bad if they don't. There's just going to be a lot of very angry people. But anyway, the point that I want to make about that is that, okay, these tariff revenues are coming in. Yes, the money will be there. We know that this is going to be placed probably shortly before the midterm elections, okay? It would be wise of all lawmakers to jump on board with this, to show their support, to get money into the pockets of the people in the form of a rebate, a dividend, a stimulus, whatever you want to call it. But right before the midterm election, highly unlikely, again, not making a political video, I'm just giving you the evidence here, highly unlikely that Democrats would probably want to support this in front of the midterm election just because they wouldn't want to give the current administration a win, okay? It's just typical politics. We know how this goes, okay? I'm not making political videos, not what I do. But again, unfortunately, sometimes based on what I talk about, it has to get a little bit political, but I just want to give you all the evidence here so you can see everything for yourself, okay? But point being is that we already know another reconciliation bill is coming. We know this. They've made that very clear to us. That's likely where this payment is going to arrive if they do it in the first place. Now, to put this into context, the $1,400 stimulus check that we received back in early 2021, that was also done within a $1.9 trillion reconciliation bill by Democrats, okay? So to be fair, they do these, okay? They add stimulus into reconciliation bills, and yes, it 100% can be done within a reconciliation bill. No problem whatsoever. They can do that, and that is what they're suggesting here as well. Again, only time will tell. But as I get more evidence on this, I want you to see it for yourself, which is why I continue to bring you these videos and the clips of people talking and things like that, just so you can hear for yourself who's the latest person talking about this. Anyway, this just came out today. Just want to bring it to your attention really quickly. I hope this helps you. As always, drop your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. If you're new here, if you've not done so, please consider subscribing. 100% free. Big subscribe button right down below. Otherwise, please share this video as well. Big share button. Let's get this video out to some people so they can see who's also talking about this alongside the president, the Treasury Secretary, the National Economic Advisor, the press secretary, all kinds of lawmakers talking about this. Now the Commerce Secretary. Yeah, they're adding all kinds of... Obviously, the president, I'm not sure if I mentioned him, but obviously the president has talked about this many times. So anyway, here you go. Just want to point this out for you. Again, please consider subscribing. Big subscribe button right down below, 100% free. Please share the video, big share button down below. Otherwise, stay tuned. I guarantee there's going to be more talk about this, especially as we get into this holiday season, like practically now, right? It's going to be a very popular topic simply because they're going to continue to talk about, oh, it's so important. We want to get money into the pockets of the people. Yeah, then do it. Then do it already. If that's what you want to do, then do it. Stop talking and do, right? I don't know. There's a huge difference between talking and action, right? We can all talk about whatever we want. Action is key. All right, anyway, I'm here for you. Please, again, subscribe down below. Share the video. Otherwise, check out the other videos here on the channel, the other 6,000 plus videos. Otherwise, until next time, please have a nice day, and I'll catch you later in the next one. See you.